There is the government, the Kenya Kwanza government has the worst record in terms of government services. You can go to anything, even the El Nino funds. People died of El Nino. Nobody has been refunded. There were so many dams which were supposed to be built for El Nino. Nothing really they're doing. The government of Kenya Kwanza is just collecting money, but actually not putting these things. But let me just talk about the implications of this. If you look at the value chain of agriculture, fertilizer contributes only 6% because inputs is fertilizer, seeds, there is labor, but also there is fuel because you see some of them are cultivated using tractor and the rest, harvesting, storage, transport, distribution, packaging, and then wholesaling, retailing. You see, if you add all that, they're only contributing 6%. Now, if only that 6% also has actually poisoned, and let me just talk about the chemical issue in this fertilizer. You know, every fertilizer needs to have at least 70% organic component inside it. This has below. That means that you are going to give almost 100% chemicals into the soil. You have not just killed this harvesting season, but you have destroyed the soil forever. What will it take to reverse that? Because that's a chemical reaction. You are going to condemn the farmers who use this fertilizer to actually very bad crop production for a long time to come, just because you are being political. And I want to ask the president, and I think this is a solution. We are even trying to propose that there are some entities in government that should not be controlled by the presidency. For example, Treasury. Treasury should do their work, should not be controlled. Agriculture, health. Because when you bring politics in health, then you politicize health, and therefore you are making bad decisions which can hit patients. For one case, for example, do you know that clinicians are allowed to perform surgeries, yet there is no act in Kenya that allows them to perform surgeries because they're not qualified to do that work. But this happened because doctors went on strike. As the president is trying to hit at doctors, then you bring in physicians to perform surgeries which they should not do, and so many families have lost their loved ones because of this. So now we are killing the agriculture, which is contributing to 85% of employment, just because of a political fertilizer. So according to me, as far as I'm concerned, it's a very, very big loss for Kenya Kwanza, because the only thing they could talk about was fertilizer. But even the very basis of Kenya Kwanza economic model was wrong, because when you talk about the issue that you cannot subsidize consumption, but you can subsidize production, you know, consumption drives production. Because if there's no demand, what is the usefulness of supply? Okay. And I think the president does not know economics. In fact, the people advising the president, even to allow him to say that, is wrong. So as far as I'm concerned, it creates a very big issue, because now, Fred, which fertilizer can you trust in the market? You know, you are just a local farmer, isn't it? You know there's a bad fertilizer in town, and you don't know how to distinguish which one is the correct one.
And farmers are actually struggling.
We need proper agricultural agronomist education to make us distinguish. How can farmers know which is the legitimate fertilizer?
But Dr. Mwangi, I want us to see the political implication of failure in this fertilizer program, because it was key in this government's approach to how they